Hi guys, welcome to a new episode. Today we're going to talk about how to develop the gravity blast or the one hand roll, which is a technique that basically, as the name says, you can play a single stroke roll with only one hand by using the rim shot. It's a similar concept to the push pull, but we basically will use the rim shot to actually be able to do this push-pull type of motion and of technique, and this will allow us to go very, very fast, basically doubling the amount of strokes that we can do with one hand. So let's see first what this actually is, and then we'll go into the details of the grip, how to develop the technique, and then some tips and some exercises to build our routine to be able to develop this technique. Okay, so now that we saw what type of different effects that we can get out of this technique, of course my applications are always more towards the kind of music that I play, but you guys can apply this in many different ways, but at least you get the sound that you can obtain from this technique. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the grip, how to hold the stick. It will be a little bit different compared to when we just deal with the rebound, because basically what will happen here is that we will press the stick on the snare against the rim, so there will be some pressure that we will do to the stick, but we will also have to leave the stick pretty much free to move as much as possible inside the hand. So we have to find this balance of pressing but leaving the freedom, and it's kind of like a lever, basically a lever feel. So where this is basically what happens. So when we land in this position, I have the possibility of letting the stick free to go all the way down from here, because then from here we will have to play the second stroke. But so there's the pressure in the stroke, but there is also the part where I control. So the grip that I hold, the way I hold the stick is basically with these three fingers, and then sometimes also my ring finger. I don't use the pinky finger too much, because the pinky finger doesn't allow me to have a lot of motion of the stick in the hand. You can still use it, but it's just a little bit, using just these three fingers allows me to have enough control, enough grip, and enough space, enough motion to execute the roll. So the first thing we have to understand and learn is this part where there's this pressure, where we basically, the lever is going to be around the thumb and index finger, and the control is going to be like the stoppage of the stick. Basically, it's going to be done more from these two, or the middle and ring fingers. So okay, second thing is where on the stick to hold the stick while doing this. If we hold the stick in the regular way and then we will apply this, it's going to be hard to have a nice stroke, because of two reasons. We will have to keep in mind that we want the tip of the stick to be in the center of the snare, and the hand will be way too far from the rim of the snare. So there's going to be way more motion of our arm involved, compared if we go with the thumb closer to the ring, always keeping in mind the tip of the stick as that has to be in the center. So closer allow us to have way less arm motion, compare that having it here. So same position. You see? So this is the second thing that you want to keep in mind. I'm using the Vicfir Freestyle 5B, which are a little bit longer sticks. So I don't want to give you a specific point in the stick. You will have to kind of like get used to it, measure it by yourself, and just create the habit and the muscular memory of whenever you're getting into this roll to just shift your grip from a regular grip that you're having to closer to where you want to hold the stick, right? So you can also do some exercises where you go from the snare, from the ride to the snare, and so on.